Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into something that can honestly instantly eliminate a huge amount of unnecessary anxiety from your life. We're talking about mastering the ancient art of resisting. We spend so much of our lives hyper-focused on what we should be doing, right? The goals, the endless tasks, but we completely ignore the toxic habits that are actively destroying our peace behind the scenes. Today, we're flipping the script. Just think about our modern exhaustion for a second. You wake up, grab your phone, and boom, instantly your mind is flooded. There's this intense, relentless pressure to be on top of every email, every news alert, every single comment the exact second it happens. But here's the truth we kind of just ignore. Trying to respond to everything in real time, it's not just a terrible recipe for productivity. It is a complete recipe for misery. We're exhausting ourselves trying to do more, thinking pushing harder is going to eventually build a good life. But instead, we're just strung out, drowning in to-dos, and totally neglecting what we actually need to stop doing.
So, to anchor this whole paradigm shift we're doing today, let's look at a core rule from the ancient teacher Epictetus. He basically summarized all of Stoic philosophy into just two things: persisting and resisting. Yes, of course, there are things we should absolutely persist in and start doing. But, and this is crucial, there are toxic behaviors we've got to fiercely resist and stop immediately. You don't need a longer to-do list, guys. You need a reverse to-do list. Let's explore these 8 Stoic don'ts that will immediately start building you a freer life.
Pillar 1, guarding your focus. We're going to look at the chaos of our mornings and how exactly we handle that relentless barrage of daily inputs.
Our first major Stoic don't is rule number 5, don't let your day be determined by inputs. Seriously, what is the very first thing most of us do when we wake up? We check our texts and emails. And the second you do that, you're basically making yourself an item on someone else's to-do list. You're letting the entire quality of your day be dictated by a random tweet or breaking news. That is simply no way to live. Marcus Aurelius actually warns against being jerked around like a puppet on a string. Regaining complete control of your morning really starts by just leaving the phone in the other room while you sleep. Refuse to be so easily reachable right out of the gate.
Get this. Consider the startling story of Napoleon Bonaparte. Did you know he famously refused to open his mail until 3 weeks after it arrived? 3 weeks. He realized that if he just waited, the vast majority of those so-called urgent problems literally resolved themselves without him having to do a single thing. It is such a brilliant reminder that not every input requires immediate action. In fact, most don't require any action at all.
And that leads us right into rule 6. Don't have an opinion on everything. Listen, we do not have to let every piece of news or every single annoying comment get under our skin or upset us. We always have the option to just have no opinion at all. Think about it. If you didn't know something existed, you wouldn't have an opinion on it, right? So now that you do know it exists, you still don't have to judge it. Let it drift by like a cloud in the sky. You don't have to get riled up, you don't have to get worked up, and you definitely don't have to respond. Just let it go.
This mindset flows perfectly into rule 2, which is basically, don't sweat the small stuff. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you are better off not giving small things more attention than they are worth. So much happens every single minute of the day, but the honest truth, most of it just doesn't matter. The drama, the gossip, the petty little inconveniences, they are completely out of our control and they absolutely do not move us closer to our goals. We've got to ruthlessly tune them out. Ask yourself if it's actually essential. If it's not, ignore it. Moving on to pillar 2, protecting your ego. Now we're shifting from how we handle information to how we handle other people, and specifically how we let them dictate our emotions and self-worth.
I actually want to stop for a second and ask you this directly. Whose worthless opinion are you letting ruin your day today? Really sit with that. Why on earth are you giving away your power and letting someone else's miserable attitude dictate your self-worth?
This gets right to the essence of Rule 3, don't care about the opinions of people you don't respect. Next time someone criticizes you, try this exercise from Marcus Aurelius. Think deeply about who this person really is. What are they addicted to? What have they actually accomplished? A lot of times you'll realize their opinion is literally worse than meaningless. Often, they're the exact opposite of who you're trying to be. So it's actually a good thing if they don't like what you're doing. It's kind of crazy, right? We love ourselves more than other people, yet for some reason, we care more about their opinions than our own. Cut that out. Focus entirely on your own internal scorecard. That brings us to rule 7. Don't look outside yourself for approval. Epictetus taught that the very minute you look around to see if the crowd is clapping for you, you've officially made yourself a slave. Seeking that external validation, it's handing over your autonomy on a silver platter. Because what happens if the crowd is wrong? What if society is currently valuing all the wrong things? We absolutely cannot let success be determined by external benchmarks. A true Stoic finds autonomy completely internally by creating their own standards. Now, this internal focus has to apply when we are wronged too. That's rule 4. Don't seek revenge or feel the need to get even. Look, returning the pain just degrades us. The Stoic philosopher Seneca pointed out how ridiculous it is to get angry and seek revenge. He basically asked, would you ever return a kick to a mule or a bite to a dog? Of course not. People are going to do awful things, that's life, but we do not need to be degraded by them. Your character wasn't actually harmed, so let it go.
Marcus Aurelius hit the nail on the head here. He famously said, the absolute best revenge is to simply not be like the person who wronged you. And just think about the sheer authority behind those words for a second. This was a Roman emperor, a guy who experienced coups, bitter betrayals, and was constantly under attack. He had all the power in the world to extract a pound of flesh, but he chose to let it go. He actively chose not to be degraded by the awful actions of others.
All right, pillar 3, embracing the process. For our final section, we're zooming out to look at the massive, overarching habits that keep us paralyzed in our daily lives and stop us from growing. That brings us right to rule 1. Don't fear change. If there is one single thing a Stoic tries specifically not to fear, it's change. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that literally everything is born from change. Every good thing that has ever happened to you in your life, it came from change. We don't need to stubbornly cling to the past or demand that tomorrow looks exactly like today. A Stoic embraces change with confidence because they're prepared. You know you can handle anything life throws at you because you're stepping into tomorrow with the exact same internal weapons you used today.
And finally, rule 8, don't treat philosophy as a dry, abstract thing. Epictetus firmly believed these teachings aren't just concepts meant for dusty old books that you read once and forget about. No way. This is a living, breathing process. It's something we should be constantly talking about, writing down, exploring with others, and keeping close at hand. It is a daily, active practice of taking these ancient ideas and using them to make our actual everyday lives better. Okay, let's look at our completed Stoic reverse to-do list. Fearing change, sweating the small stuff, caring about unrespected opinions, seeking revenge, starting the day reacting to inputs, having opinions on everything, seeking outside approval, and treating philosophy as abstract. Listen, building a better life isn't always about piling more positive habits onto an already overwhelming plate. There is just massive relief found in aggressively cutting out these 8 negative habits. When you stop reacting and you stop fighting every little thing, you take back control.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a final provocative question. Which of these 8 toxic habits are you going to ruthlessly eliminate today? It is time to reclaim your peace. Let us know which one you're cutting out down in the comments. And hey, if you want to keep internalizing these ideas every single day, I highly suggest signing up for the free Daily Stoic email over at dailystoic.com. Take a hard look at your reverse to-do list, take a deep breath, and just enjoy the freedom of letting go. We'll see you in the next one.